Guys, this is the most successful season in Seattle Mariners history. We have never won more than 2 games in an ALCS. We have never been less than 2 wins from the World Series. Just one time have we ever been this close. Or 2 times. In 1995, we lost to the Cleveland Indians in 6 games. And in 2000, we lost to the New York Yankees in 6 games. But right now, we take the series back to Seattle with a 2-0 lead in the ALCS. We're 2 wins away from the World Series, and I've been dreaming of this my entire life. In 2001, the team that tied the 1906 Chicago Cubs with Three Finger Brown for the best record in baseball history at 116 wins. We have tied, that team only, made it to the Game 5 in the ALCS before getting beaten by the Yankees. But we, this season, and I don't even care that I'm saying we instead of the Mariners at this point, because I will bleed for this S. Anything this S means to me, I will put it on display these next few days for you guys. And that's what we're going to do today. But just a reminder, 1995, our first appearance in the ALCS, our first playoff appearance ever. We, actually, 1994, there was, the season ended early. The season didn't even finish, but we had a losing record anyway. So, 1995, when the team was about to leave Seattle, we made it to the playoffs for the first time. That magical season, we made it to the ALCS, the double by Edgar. Joey Cora around third. The throw to the plate's not a time, my oh my, the Mariners win it. Ken Griffey Jr., Randy Johnson won the Cy Young Award. Lou Piniella won Manager of the Year that year. And we saved this team so that by the time I've been alive, we could even have a baseball team. In 1997, we made the playoffs again, lost in the ALDS to the Orioles 3-1. Griffey won the MVP that season. In 2000, we won the ALDS, sweeping the White Sox 3-0, and lost in the ALCS to the Yankees 4-2. Kazuhiro Sasaki was the Rookie of the Year that year, by the way. Daimajin, the Magician, because he had such a nasty forkball. I still remember watching him, and I was 1.5 years old. And I know it sounds like absolute, it sounds far-fetched for me to remember that from 1.5 years old. But I remember, I literally have a video of me as a 1.5 or 2-year-old or something. And my parents are saying, "Who are you, Dominic?" And I'm saying, "Kazuhiro Sasaki." And 2001, the 116 win Mariners, always going to be my favorite Mariners team ever. Even, this one is starting to get to that level almost, right? It's hard. It's just, it takes a lot of emotion. I don't even care. You can say that I'm a fan and I'm not as much, I'm still going to analyze all the StatCast stuff like the scout that I want to be. But this is who I am. In 2001, we beat the Indians 3-2 in the ALDS. It went the distance just like this past ALDS did. And then we lost in the ALCS to the Yankees 4-1. Ichiro Suzuki, MVP, Rookie of the Year. And Lou Piniella, once again, Manager of the Year. Ichiro Suzuki, my favorite athlete of all time, my favorite baseball player of all time, my favorite athlete of all time, my role model of all time. You see this jersey behind me. Getting that signed by Ichiro at spring training in 2018 was, a hallmark moment in my life. And it took me years and years and years, and that's the last autograph I will ever need. That was the moment that I really feel like I truly was able to grow up in a way. Now, all the Mariners teams, this quick moment for all the Mariners teams that didn't make it here. 2002, 93 and 69. And we didn't make the playoffs because of the MLB rules back then. That team actually won more games than this current team. 2003, again, 93 and 69. Excellent records. Those teams were excellent. The 2002 and 2003 teams didn't make the playoffs because of the MLB rules back then, where only one division winner from each team made the playoffs and a wild card. So 4 total teams in each league. Somehow we didn't make it. 2004, 63 and 99. 2005, 69 and 93. 2006, 78 and 84. 2007, 88 and 74. 2008, 61 and 101. 2009, 85 and 77. And didn't make the playoffs. Don Wakamatsu had a couple All-Stars that year, though. 2010, 61 and 101. 2011, 67 and 95. 2012, 75 and 87. 2013, 71 and 91. 2014, 87 and 75. Didn't make the playoffs. Chris Young did win Comeback Player of the Year. Lloyd McClendon had a pretty good team. That was a pretty good team. I think that was the first of the Cano years. 2015, 76 and 86. 2016, 86 and 76. 2017, 78 and 84. 2018, 89 and 73. Didn't make the playoffs because the MLB rules were what they were. 2019, 68 and 94. 2020, 27 and 33. Now, this 27 and 33 in the 60-game season was actually really interesting, considering the fact that the Astros were only 29 and 31, made the playoffs because the MLB playoffs were completely wide open that year with 14 out of the 30 teams making it. Teams like the Marlins made the playoffs. Kyle Lewis did win Rookie of the Year. But that team, that was the first year that I did this Mariners YouTube stuff. If somehow you went back and watched those old videos, those live streams that I was doing, I said that if the Mariners, I really was hoping that the Mariners would win over 25 games. It was a complete rebuilding year. Cano and Cruz had left. It was completely the time where, okay, we're rebuilding. And Marco Gonzalez had a coming out, party. And everything was awesome that year, in terms of the actual team. That was the beginning of the control the zone philosophy. Guys like Dylan Moore really came into their own as everyday players on this team. That team really was the beginning of Jerry Dipoto actually having the team that he wanted on the field. And even though the players weren't there yet to get it done necessarily, that team had so much grit and resilience that we didn't have before that I will tip my cap to that team. 2021, 90 and 72, same record as this team. Didn't make the playoffs though. 2022, 90 and 72 again, and didn't make the playoffs. I was at the final game of that season, and I remember, Julio Rodriguez won Rookie of the Year. 2021, I was at, the final game, and that was the Believe signs. That team meant a whole lot to me too, with Jared Kelnick and Logan Gilbert's rookie year. That team meant a whole lot. The fight that team showed, the resilience, the identity that we were forming, the control the zone, the chaos ball, the Believe. Man, it's making me tear up right here. The See Us Rise, 2022, 90 and 72 again. And that was the year that we clinched, that Cal Raleigh hit the home run to clinch the playoffs. And we go to the AL wildcard against the Toronto Blue Jays, sweep them in Rogers Center, which we did again tonight. And, at least we swept the Rogers Center portion. So in the playoffs, we're 4-0 in Rogers Center, and 4-0 against the Blue Jays, and 4-0 in Canada, however you want to slice it. Then we lost in the ALDS to the Astros. As anybody will remember, we went up in all of those games, in the first 2 games in Houston, and couldn't get the job done. And the 18-inning, I mean, nobody who was at that 18-inning game will ever forget that. And we lost, and the Astros went on to win the World Series, and they were formidable. And that was really the pinnacle, I'd say, of the Astros after A.J. Hinch with Dusty Baker, which absolutely sucks. And Julio won Rookie of the Year that year. 2023, 88-74. Didn't make the playoffs. 2024, 85-77. Didn't make the playoffs. Scott Service actually got fired, late into the season. Dan Wilson took over. And then 2025, the most successful Seattle Mariners season of all time right now. Tied with both 2000 and 1995, and I would lump 2001 in there as well, considering the 116 wins. And the most wins we've had outside of that season is the 93s, both the 2 years after that we didn't make the playoffs. So, man, did so many Seattle Mariners walk so that this team could run. They saved the team in 1995. They set the wins record in 2001. And all these teams got torn to pieces. We tried with Cano and Cruz, didn't get it done. Couldn't even break the playoff drought. But Jerry Dipoto, it took so many years. 2022, we made it back to the playoffs and ended the drought. And now in 2025, I don't even care if I'm crying at this point. We're up to, we beat the Tigers in 15 innings in Game 5 of the ALDS in the greatest game ever played at T-Mobile Park. And now we're up 2-0 in the ALCS. Just 2 wins away from the World Series for the first time ever. And it means so much. Every team that walked said this team could run. All the way from Alvin Davis through Griffey and Ichiro. You guys, this is why I do this, guys. Just doing this YouTube, right? It gives me purpose. It gives me a way to have, just to do something with all this emotion I have during this magical run. And I started this at the beginning of the season, pledging to do 162 games. I missed a couple, man. I missed some down the stretch. But what do we say? 1-0 every pitch. 1-0 every game. And if we just win 2 more, if we can go 1-0 on Wednesday, we'll be 1 game away. And then Thursday, we'll have a chance to do what we've been dreaming our whole lives of. There's so much StatCast stuff to look at. I mean, there was excellent baseball played by this team today. But I'll be damned if I don't spend at least a good 20 minutes, however long this is, reflecting on all those who wore this vest and walked so that this team could run. And they're making good on it. Jorge Polanco, carrying the hopes and dreams of all of us. Man, the Mariners win 10-3 today. This is the first thing I've even said about the game. Rogers Center, we love playing there. We took the air out of that place the same way Kerry Carpenter took the air out of us here twice with 2-run homers. We took the air out of that place yesterday with Cal. And then today, with Julio in the first inning before a single out was recorded, we get on that Trey Savage splitter. And all that broadcast talking about how we couldn't hit the splitter yesterday. We're one of the worst splitter hitting teams in baseball with Gosman's, right? I said, we're going to hit that splitter. All my text threads to my dad, to my friend Harvey. Shout out to everybody who's with me. I said, we're going to hit that splitter. And you throwing it 5 times in a row to Cal was a mistake. Even if it didn't become a mistake yet on the stat sheet, on the box score. Logan Gilbert only goes 3 innings tonight. Gives up 5 hits, 2 earned runs, 3 runs total. There was a costly toss error by Josh Naylor and 2 strikeouts to 1 walk only, we knew this Toronto team would be tough. And they got theirs against Logan Gilbert. He gave up 6 hard hits on 58 pitches. Whereas Trey Savage, right, he goes 4 innings, but gives up 5 earned runs on just 4 hits, just 4 strikeouts to 3 walks, and he gives up the homer, right? He gets hard hit 7 times on 70 pitches. And boy, we got to use our guys in the bullpen. Edward Bizardo. I mean, Edward Bizardo is just an absolute hero in Seattle right now. He is carrying the hopes and dreams of all those relievers who never got the chance to do this. That Snapdragon sinker from Edward Bizardo looks as pretty as anything. But again, I will be hot diggity dog if I don't mention Carlos Vargas pitching 2 innings. After everything I've heard about Carlos Vargas, the easiest take you could make as a fan is to say, oh, Carlos Vargas is bad, right? After he gives up a run in the playoffs, he has been with us the entire year for a reason. His stuff is nasty. Clearly, he's an amazing member of this clubhouse. And he, carrying the hopes and dreams of all of us, 2 innings, shutout, slam the door, hitless. 1 strikeout to 1 walk, doesn't matter. Keeps him off balance. His sinker-slider approach was perfect, especially going to a guy like Alejandro Kirk in the middle of the order, where he did. And he got the outs he needed to get. Didn't get hard hit once on 36 pitches. Carlos Vargas, I believe in you. Emerson Hancock, somebody who I've been believing in. I mean, I have videos dating back to the MLB draft, being excited about him. And we've reviewed this year how he's progressed into the majors. His terrible first start of the season against Detroit, not what any of us wanted. We weren't sure how we were going to get him back to being a guy who can be on this roster because the pitch mix just wasn't there at times. But man, he's come back in such a big way. 3 hard hits on 39 pitches. Gets only 1 strikeout, walks 3. But we end this game. 2 innings, hitless from Emerson Hancock. Then, on our side, we forced the Blue Jays to use up that bullpen. All this talk of our bullpen being tired, we're tired and we don't care. We are tired and we don't care because you know what we have? We have purpose. We are filled with purpose. I'm going to go with the swinging strikes and then we'll talk about the rest later because 1-0 every pitch, guys. 1-0 every pitch. And look what we have the chance to do. Logan Gilbert only 5 swinging strikes on 58 pitches. I'm not worried about it at all. I mean, he is going on such short rest from Friday to Monday. If you were criticizing Logan Gilbert in the slightest after this performance in terms of like the actual underlying numbers, just remember he pitched on Friday night, super late. So he should not be starting a Monday game anyway. But we're doing it because he's on the front lines of this battle. This is his war to fight. And he's on the front lines, and he is just being a soldier. So for Logan Gilbert, for even getting out there and starting today, and again, kept the game close enough for us to win, and actually gets the win over Trey Savage, who gets the loss. Edward Bizardo, actually, does Logan Gilbert get the win? I look at the box score. He doesn't because we score those runs in the 5th inning. So it was tied when he left the game after 3, and technically Edward Bizardo is going to get that win, and he absolutely deserves it. Man, I've seen his and I've been behind the plate just a couple times this season. I've seen some folks wearing Bizardo 83 jerseys, and they're just seem like the sweetest people ever. Just watching the game, rooting for their family. So Edward Bizardo's family, who has been sitting behind the plate this year, thank you. How consistently you've been behind the plate. Even in the beginning of the year when he was one of the outside options looking into this bullpen coming out of spring training. And you guys were just consistently showing up to every Mariners game in April, in May. Thank you. And I appreciate you so much. And thank you for sharing Edward with us. 1 swinging strike on 30 pitches, but it does not matter because 69.9 mile an hour average exit velocity, 68.5 on his sinker. and then 72.8 on his slider. Nobody was getting on Edward Bizardo's stuff tonight, and he was pitching so conservatively, working the zone the way he needed to, right? On the broadcast, they said today, like, oh, these Mariners pitchers dominate the zone, right, and really control the middle of the zone, and then these Blue Jays hitters want to do the same thing. Well, we started painting the outside of the zone and we got so many ground balls today. Again, Bryce yesterday, it wasn't about the strikeouts. I thought Logan was going to go really attack these hitters, and he did, because that's who Logan really is. But he does, give up a couple hits. There's a costly error that would have changed everything. And then, he gives up a couple runs. It's fine. He is absolutely on the front lines of this thing. What he did on Friday night to get us here, it's hard to even find words to say how much that means. Carlos Vargas, 3 swinging strikes on 36 pitches, 2 on 23 sinkers, 1 on 11 cutters. Seeing him throw this cutter 11 times in this, only 1 four-seam fastball and only 1 slider. The sinker-cutter combination for Carlos Vargas, I'm here to say, this is going to work. I am a fan of it. It looks nasty. I think this is just the blend that he needed. As the sinker slider, the sinker four-seam weren't doing exactly what we want to do the whole year, but this sinker-cutter thing for Carlos Vargas, I trust it. And Carlos Vargas, I have full faith in you. Thank you. Emerson Hancock, just absolutely awesome. Gives up the 3 walks, but I don't care. That's called being conservative. That's called pitchability. That is called, that is even command over control. That is doing what you need to do to win the ball game. He goes out, throws 39 pitches, 25 sinkers, 10 four-seams, 3 sweepers, and a changeup. And Emerson Hancock now with the 2-seam, 4-seam, it's working. And the sweeper and changeup too, he only uses them barely at all out of the bullpen, but when he's a starting pitcher, I think he has weapons to both sides of the plate, to both left-handed and right-handed batters too. Trey Savage, 7 swinging strikes on 70 pitches. But man, we're getting on, 2 on 31 four-seams, 3 on 23 sliders, 2 on 16 splitters. We got on that thing. So much for the Mariners not being able to hit the splitter, because, we put those high average exit velocities on him, 95.5 on his pitches, 96, 97, and 92. So got to be really proud of the way that we teed up off on Trey Savage tonight, earlier today. I had to wait till now to even do this because I've literally been in shock and awe for the last several hours. And the fact that this is the most successful Mariners team of all time. And with each win, it just goes further to a point that we have never been. And then Mason Fluharty, Braden Fisher, Yariel Rodriguez, Chris Bassett. This team was just bloodthirsty. Eric Lauer. You made them use up 5 guys in the bullpen. And you can't not love what's going on right now. Sorry, 6 guys, because Louis Varland, then Fluharty, then Fisher, then Rodriguez all come in and give up earned runs. We are taking no prisoners. We're going to leave them in our waste. And these games 3, 4, and 5, Seattle. I am not saying anything about the fans, don't matter. Like when we go quiet after Kerry Carpenter hits bombs, I get mad because, but any player can do that in any city. We are not going to sit here and let, the Blue Jays fans take over this time. I know it's going to be different. I know it's going to be different. I know it. And I'm going to be there on game 4 and 5 because I've been dreaming of this moment my entire life. And I would do, whatever it takes to get there. I've got my tickets. And even if you can't, I'm probably not going to be able to buy a World Series ticket because they're going for about $1,500 right now, just the get-in price. But even so, I hope that we put a big TV screen up in Pioneer Square and we turn this city into an absolute madhouse. Because, nobody is going to want to go to and do any work on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. This city, this city can believe in God. This city can believe in America and God again if the Seattle Mariners win the American League and go to the World Series. And it's already happening. This is undoubtedly my most emotional video ever, and we're going to keep it going. Thank you all. I love you all. God bless you all. And I will leave you with these 3 things because we've got baseball to play on Wednesday. Want to know every pitch. Stay stoic and control what you can control. And all glory to God. And, okay, one more thing. The only person who I'm thinking about right now is my 2-year-old self. I'll show you pictures of him. I'll post it soon. Whatever, I'll put it in a thumbnail or something. But that's the guy who, as long as I make that guy proud, that's what matters to me. And I encourage you to look at the same. Whenever you fell in love with Mariners baseball, make that guy, that girl, make them proud, right? That little boy, that little girl, whoever, whenever you fell in love with Mariners baseball, think back to yourself then and remember that they are with you right now. And let's go do this thing. Go M's.